pawpaw tree was a huge surprise this year. I'm so happy it bumped up like this. I did have some real tiny pawpaws and the tree aborted it. It was next day. You can sort of see how the pawpaws are splitting apart. See them? It's baby pawpaws. There's 3 of them. And I believe I have some more on this plant, and the plant up front, some stuff that's questionable. Like that. There's one. It's too small of a tree to hold fruit anyway. They'll do that. So it was showing little tiny pawpaws, but I was like, I don't think they're gonna go, and they did not. So it gained a lot of size. It'll flower again. Maybe it'll hold fruit. It's 7 foot tall or something like that. Here's another one that was a real surprise. This is a Rappahannock, and you can tell by the shape of the leaf. See how it's curled? It's very unusual. It's a Rappahannock. It's a Peterson's pawpaw, and it's way over 6 feet, closer to 7. It was a total surprise. I can't even believe that some of these just grew a ton. And one thing that I'd like to say is I did not fertilize any of them this year. Nothing, and I don't think I'm going to do it again. Why use fertilizer? There's dogs around here, you know? And besides, when you fertilize a plant, sometimes that affects the flowers, and I'm not getting involved in it. They're all doing fine, and some of these did better than they've ever done without giving nitrogen. Some of these young trees, I got a real big growth spurt, and you can see that it's still green. That's not good. We're close to October. I need it to wood out because, you know, if it doesn't, if we get a real bad cold snap, all this green, that won't make it through the winter. So it'll, you know, kind of die up out here or something, and then stuff will come out of a lower area. So this growth spurt, unless it starts wooding out, it's not gonna be beneficial anyway. But I did have a couple that did real good like this right at the end. Once again, this is a native, but it's real green at the top, and it's still growing. That's not necessarily good. I would want it to really slow down, and they're not. A couple of these did not grow much at all this year. Now here's a pawpaw that I have wired over, and what I'm trying to do is I did plant it really sort of close to the property line. So I'm bringing it this way, and I'm going to force it coming into my yard this way. See what I'm saying? It's like I'm bonsaiing it, but it did have some growth, even though I'm putting tremendous stress on it. I mean, you can see like how much I have it bent, right? That's a lot, and I did it to 2 others. Now, one of them got busted because Finn was here, and Finn looked at it like a gate to run through, and he broke it. No big deal. It's a pawpaw. Pawpaws are all about their roots. If you mow them over, no problem. They're going to grow back. Here's the one that Finn broke, and so he broke it right about there, right? All right, he broke it a little bit higher up, so I cut it, and now this will be a kind of shorter, bushy type tree. You know, it did fine. It put on, you know, about 5 or 6 inches, you know, of some branches. It's still coming this way, and I might give it, like, next summer, maybe I'll start bending it real lightly with these coming in this way. I don't know. It's a bonsai. It's exactly what it is. I might try and keep this real short. Yeah, there you go. Now this is a Wabash, and a Wabash is a Peterson's pawpaw. And it had a break in the branch, so I used soldering wire. And the reason why I use soldering wire is that it'll bend. So if the plant starts growing, it's not, you know, it's going to push the wire, so it's not going to cut into the plant. But you could see the break. It's like right there. It was, I think one of the dogs ran into it. But I could have just as easily just cut this and then the tree would have grown a whole lot, right? But because it did this, it had to repair this. It also was sending energy down to the roots. Now, the one thing about this plant in particular was there were a lot of root suckers. And I was clipping them because I don't want to send energy to, you know, to that area. I mean, it's already like, it's pretty fat, it looks good, but so it's cutting the root suckers. But the one thing that I want to say is that this is a graft. This is a Wabash, but the rootstock would be something different. So if I see root suckers again next year, I think I'm going to let them grow up so that it'll self-pollinate this tree. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's sort of the same tree. It's not really self-pollination, but it is two different trees. The rootstock and the graft, totally different. I don't know. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Here's another one. I believe that this is a native. Maybe it's a Potomac. I'd have to check. But same thing, but it's starting to wood out more. It's not as green up at the top, which is really what I want to see.